Here we go.
Okay. Meeting to order. Roll call.
Chairperson Patricia Barton.
Present.
Commissioner Miguel Funes.
Present.
Commissioner Margaret Phelps.
Present.
Attorney James Lamana.
Present.
And Captain Chris Kelly.
Please absent. We do have a quorum. Okay, I have minutes from our December 12th meeting. We had a chance to read them. What is your pleasure?
Yes, motion to approve the minutes of December 12th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Then we have 3 one-day licenses. First is Couch Dog Brewing. Okay, for the Lunar New Year Festival at Lynn Museum on February 8th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. They're expecting 100 people and the admission is free. Then I have 2 others from Lynn Music Foundation, 25 Exchange Street, for a live music event on February 14th and another live music event on February 15th from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. That's it for the one-day
Okay.
licenses.
Yeah, motion to approve 3 one-day licenses for Couch Dog Brewing Company and Lynn Music Foundation, and on 2 for Lynn Music, for
Yes.
Music Foundation.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, then I have a transfer of an all-alcohol restaurant license to Hader Restaurant Group doing business as La Copa Cafe.
That's our.
Yes, and that was formerly the.
Yep.
Yes, please. Yes,
Good afternoon. Good. How are you?
good.
My name is Monica, chairperson, but I'm an attorney. I represent Tejeda Restaurant Group Inc., DBA La Copa Cafe Restaurant and Bar. They recently purchased El Pacifico on 23 Central Ave in Lynn, and we've submitted an application for a transfer of the liquor license, and we've provided all the fees. I believe they're in compliance with everything on the list, and we're hoping that this application is approved so we can be submitted to the Alcohol Beverage Control Commission. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have any questions?
I don't.
I don't.
Good.
Yes.
Change them on anything.
Everything was in order.
Okay, then if we could entertain a motion to approve the transfer of the alcohol.
I'll make a motion that we allow to have a restaurant group, La Copa Restaurant, to be approved.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Did you guys get my email yesterday? I don't know all you guys, but we have like a special lunch for like whoever like works in the city hall on Thursday, in between 12 to 2 p.m. If you guys want to come over to try our food, you guys are welcome.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we'll be like from 12 a.m. to 2 p.m. So
Okay.
my honor to my invitation, all of you. So
Thank you.
I hope to see you guys in there.
Thank you very
All
much.
right, thank you for everything. Thank you.
And we have, change of ownership interest. One stop, Matt. Matt?
Excuse me. Have a nice.
Good night.
You too. Thank
Take
you.
care.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the Commission, Attorney Tom Truax of Salem, appearing on behalf of Eknath LLC, which is the licensee, the current licensee. As you've indicated, it's a change of ownership, well, excuse me, it's change of stock interest. So with me is Sanjay Kumar Patel. He is currently the 50% LLC member, and he is transferring that interest to his nephew, who is Kalpit Parekh. And so it's basically a transfer in the family transfer. There, in terms of the business operation, everything's remaining the same. The manager, who is Janelle Patel, he's remaining as the manager. Operation hours are remaining the same. Store layouts remain the same. So nothing else is changing. Just goodbye to Mr. Patel and hello to Mr. Parekh. And that's basically it.
So is still going to be the manager?
Janelle Patel is still the manager. He was not a manager. He was an LLC member, which
I
is
see.
an ownership interest,
Yeah.
stock interest. The manager was Janelle Patel. He's remaining as the manager.
Okay.
Okay.
No change there.
Any other questions?
No.
No.
Everything looked good. So, I guess we can entertain a motion to approve the transfer of the stock.
I'll make a motion to
Okay.
transfer the change of ownership, thank you. Change of, ownership interest
Right.
for One Stop Mart.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Goodbye. You. Do they have change of stock interest?
So, that's the one I was thinking.
Okay.
Yep.
What?
Good afternoon, Attorney John Meridian, Demarcus Law Offices. I'm here on behalf of Archivard Corporation, which does business as Enjoy Liquors. Jay Patel is going to gift his father, Ashok Kumar Patel, a portion of his stock. So it's a transfer of stock between family members. Ashok will be the 90% holder. Jay Patel will have 5%, and Herschel Patel will be 5%. Herschel and Jay are even approved as shareholders. There's no other changes to the operation. Still same floor plan, no other operational change, just like stock to bring debt into the picture.
How nice. Okay. Any questions?
No.
Any questions? Entertain a motion to approve the transfers.
I do make a motion for Archivard Corporation, operating as a liquor and food market at 53 Union Street by Harsha Patel to be approved.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah. And conference, for conference eclipse group, very good for them.
December meeting, the Attorney Wes Bronson had notified me before the meeting that he could not make it,
Right.
and requested for continuance today, but I have not heard from him regarding his absence today.
Yeah. Did we send another notice?
I would have sent another notice.
You did?
Yeah, but I would have sent it to Fergie. No. Intern.
No, it's been, it's been through it. Yes.
Yep.
And, something so minor, the big production. Well, gonna be a hearing now. Just have to come before hearing. February. And we have a hearing scheduled for Tula Flavor. Obviously, no one here for Tula Flavor. Did you hear anything from Tula people?
They were the ones I talked to.
Okay. Yeah.
He was empathy for me too. They just notified us this afternoon.
Yeah. Did you give a reason why you couldn't make
He
it?
said he was on the emergency.
Well, I have a question for you, Attorney Lamina. Since they didn't appear for a conference, well, they did appear for a conference, but not the,
Not the, owner.
right. Now it was here, is it within our right to suspend the entertainment license until the board meeting where they have to come for a hearing? It will remain in effect if they don't stop.
I would say absolutely.
Thank you.
I believe that there's some police reports, I don't know if they'll be read tonight because of,
Right.
Captain Kelly, but it seems from reading the police reports, if the doors are shut, nobody can hear anything. So they must be very well soundproof, but obviously people are gonna be coming in and out. And there is a new apartment building across the street. I don't know how they can solve that problem because it's not, it doesn't appear to be the soundproof of the building. It's the fact that people gotta come in and out. But if that's the direction, suspension of the entertainment license until such time. But they did not send an appropriate official in December, and no one appeared tonight.
Right. I would entertain a motion that we, suspend their entertainment license until, February meeting where they,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, due to non-appearance of a hearing, we like to suspend the entertainment license for Tula Flavor until such time that they appear before this board.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, we have police reports. Captain Kelly isn't here, so anybody have any concerns with the police reports? I know the Brotherhood one looks long, detailed. But, yeah, I have not heard anything from neighbors or the police department. I don't know. From what I've read in the reports, it seems like rules were followed. But it is concerning. Others get a chance to read through them.
Yeah, I read through all of them and I thought that everything was followed, and I think it's just an unfortunate situation that somebody came in uninvited and caused a lot of,
Well,
yep.
right. And I have been in contact with members of the Brotherhood. I received a phone call the next month, assuring me that, they're taking steps so that something like this doesn't happen again. Because there's only so much you can do.
Right.
But, they are going to take steps.
They also closed down for a period of time after the incident,
Yes.
voluntarily.
Honestly.
Yes.
I think we'll hold off on our police report since I'm back in Kelly comes. But again, I feel very confident that if this had been anything more than what it was, I think the police would he made it known.
Yes.
I need a motion that will have Captain Kelly read the police reports in February meeting.
For
For all the police reports?
Yeah, to make a motion to.
Yes, I make a motion. We did, make a motion as to move forward with the reports.
For a February meeting?
For February.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Then we just have, any new business?
If I may, under new business. I've been in touch with Inspectional Services Department, and we're doing regular inspections once every 5 years. And we have a zoning compliance officer that's responding to complaints from tenants in buildings throughout the city. And they're putting together a list of properties where there are more than 6 unrelated people residing, oftentimes in squalor, with no heat, too many people in attics and basement without adequate means of egress. They viewing these apartment buildings, residential buildings as rooming houses, and they'd asked if I could request from this commission the ability to send a letter, and I could draft that, work with Laura Lee, to who they believe are operating lodging houses, and asking them to license by this board. One advantage of the lodging house licenses, they can go in and inspect at any time. We're catching some of the lodging houses just part of the once every 5-year inspections. While they might clean out an attic, they might clean out a basement with too many people in there. If we don't take more proactive actions, they may be moved in the very next day. So as this board licenses lodging houses, the thought was we could put together a letter, and then report back in advance of the February meeting. We've sent out letters to A, B, C, and D. A and B came in, and we'll either approve or disapprove them. If C and D didn't come in, then there may be a referral to our office, the law department, to take appropriate steps in court to close them down.
Absolutely. I guess, you want that in a motion?
If it could be, just because it may lead to litigation, and just to document how we went about going forward with these.
Okay.
So they're renting multiple rooms in their property.
With padlocks on doors, so it may be a 3-family, but the 3-bedroom second floor each has a padlock, and there's a tenant, and then they're renting the whole building, and many more than 6 people in this apartment.
So we're allowing them to apply for a lodging license.
License.
But
And
not
I-
have
full
any
disclosure-
lodging license, they'd have to fulfill all the rules and regulations that regular lodging houses.
And in full disclosure, many of these are sober houses, and many of these sober houses are not run appropriate at all. There was a case out of, I think it was 121 North Common Street, with some very serious allegations against a gentleman that owns a number of sober houses in the city. Tenants are coming to ISD begging for assistance. This is where we're living, but windows are broken. There's 15 people living in the basement where I am. And ISD has recognized that these are, for all intents and purposes, whether they're exclusively for people in a sober home or just a landlord's looking to make as much rent as they can, they're basically renting on per night or per week basis to try to maximize their income.
Yeah.
So, but how does that fit into zoning in different areas in the city? What if an area isn't zoned for that? Such as, I mean, typically, is Ward 3 still single-family zoning?
But for the time being, I think we have a consultant. It could technically violate zoning, or it may not. If there are single-family homes that Inspectional Services believes are essentially rooming houses, where somebody owns a house and is just renting rooms as many as they can to help defray the costs. Those are much more difficult to catch. A 2 and a 3 family or more are required to be registered with the city on an annual basis and inspected once every 5 years. So we're in year 2 of the inspections, and during these 2 inspections, some of the rental inspectors have come back saying that it looks for all intents and purposes that this is essentially renting rooms on a short-term basis. That it's not common to see padlocks on bedroom doors. If you got
No.
three
Right.
roommates living together.
Right.
And roommates saying that they don't have access to certain areas.
But then what would curtail a current owner who isn't doing that, and now he starts to do it because he knows he can get more rent and he can just easily get a license?
If they wish to run a lodging house that's licensed, they can apply to this board. What's happening right now is from putting ISD, there are many properties, not 5 or 10, but more likely hundreds of properties that are being utilized as essentially lodging houses, and they're overcrowded, and they violate the sanitary code. And we've only come across them during the once every 5-year inspections. The good lodging houses, I'm sure, will come in and apply for it because they run a good lodging house and a good sober house. They're very good sober houses that are on list. It's called a MASH list, which you have to agree if you're running the sober house, you're going to comply with the best practices in sober houses. So ISD is very confident they will come in, they will apply. There will be others that may put up a fight and say prove that there are more than 6 people that are unrelated here, and then we'll have to deal with that. If we can't prove it, then I'm probably not going to be successful if I go to court with trying to get a preliminary injunction to shut them down. But some of what the document in the reports, 20, 25 people living basement and a first floor without adequate egress. I spoke with Mike Donovan. We only have 1 zoning enforcement officer right now. He expressed that we could probably use 3 and we'd be catching a lot more than we're catching, and we're catching quite a few right now. As far as sober homes go, and they are the most, in having some internal meetings, some of the most vulnerable people in our society, they're uncomfortable about making complaints to inspection services, and they're being paid. They're getting money from the state in order to, the landlords are getting money from the state in order to reside in these homes. At least the one on 121 North Common Street has been taken off the state list, so I don't know what the future of that facility is, and he owns a number of other sober homes / lodging houses homes. But from a state law perspective, if you have 6 or more unrelated people residing in a dwelling unit, you are required to file for the lodging house license. We now believe that there's a lot more lodging houses that meet the definition of a lodging house that exist in the city of Lynn that are on our annual lodging house renewal list.
So we need to act on this. I mean, if something happens, the city could be held liable, correct?
It could be if we had knowledge of something, and it could lead to a lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
But sober homes are protected by state law. We cannot zoning the sober homes. The state believes this is a valid educational use that does help people, and I think ISD recognizes that. But if there are bad operators of sober houses that are basically in it purely for the profit and have, as far as not enough heat, being overcrowded, no hot water, these people are not being protected by the provisions of the sanitary code that all landlords are required to. And the general feeling from inspection services, catching them once every 5 years, ordering them to come into compliance, and then they'll come around 5 years from now with a new inspection with probably very likely similar complaints. It's not doing the tenants, it's not doing well by the tenants who have a right to live in sanitary conditions.
Are we just talking about sober homes, or are we talking about any property that's being rented to 6 or more unrelated individuals?
If ISD and the fire department in joint inspections determine that there are 6 or more individuals, and it's essentially a lodging house, not take apart. I went to college and I had it, I think it was only 4 roommates, but there are situations where that may fall into the definition. But from a fire perspective, if you have 6 or more individuals that are unrelated living in a single dwelling unit, there's a requirement for sprinklers. as well. So there are a lot of things that, a lot of legal requirements that have to go if that's the avenue you want to choose. But I think for the time being, we're looking at places with the padlocks on the door that, by all accounts, it appears that this is a three-family home, but he's renting out to 4 different people in 4 different bedrooms with a common bathroom and a common kitchen on floor number 1, 2, and 3.
You have the most experience in certain.
I just think it's changing the whole fabric of your neighborhoods. I just think I really want more information about this. I mean, I understand where you're coming from and that we need to protect those people, but I just think it's going to open up a whole new avenue to how people are going to rent their property.
I can certainly request ISD to come to the February meeting, and they can tell you exactly some of the issues that they've come across. We would be opening ourselves up to federal handicap discrimination laws if we tried to ban sober houses from a particular neighborhood.
No, and I understand the sober housing because I know that they can pretty much go anywhere. I just worry about places that are non-sober houses and what precedent it's gonna set. I mean, if I was a landlord, I want to maximize my property. Why not? If I have 3 floors, if I have 3 bedrooms on each floor, that's 12 units. So I no longer rent to 3 families, but I'm going to rent to 12.
Well, and Inspection Services seeing that, and yep.
Nope. As long as they run properly, and this would ensure that they have to run properly.
They have to come to this board to apply for a lodging license. If it's a sober home, that it complies with the sanitary code and the building code and has proper egress, I don't believe this board could deny it because it didn't fit into the quality of the neighborhood. But if it was a lodging house where someone wanted to turn a 3-family on Ocean Street into essentially 18 different bedrooms being rented out to 18 different people, this board, and taking apart it's a sober house or it's not a protected use under the Dover Amendment, this board would absolutely be in within its power to say, I don't believe this 3-family should now be essentially a lodging house where people can come in and rent by the week and pay $100 a night. So the board does have power with respect to, is this an appropriate area in the city for this to be operated?
Mm.
I guess we kind of talking about different issues at the same time, especially the safety. To me, it's like also like a fire safety as well, cleaning and
I mean, I feel comfortable. You said that the board would have the authority to say, this is inappropriate, or yes, this is appropriate.
With respect to non-sober houses, we've identified that a number of sober houses that should be licensed that are not licensed. We've identified some properties during the inspection that looks very much like rooming houses. There's padlocks are an obvious giveaway, but only being inspected once every 5 years. Some of these places may fall through the cracks. If the landlord says, I want all those padlocks off, the inspection service is going to do an inspection Thursday morning, and then it can look like people going to rooming together as a way that just don't have family and they're pooling their resources. So those are a lot tougher to catch. the fire department's issued orders in some of these cases, and we've been unsuccessful in meeting our burden that it's a rooming house, but that doesn't mean that the fire department will not continue to push if they believe there's public safety issues and the like. And we've put together a group task force in the last 2 months with the fire department, special services, health department, and representative from our office to try to brainstorm on how do we get this under control. I can say that some of the more horrific, that some, you know, one instance where the operator of the silver home was trading, you didn't have to pay, and this was a finding by the federal court, that it was trading sexual favors for rent. That person has been ordered to have no contact with tenants, cockroaches, just terrible living conditions, threatening if you call inspection services to complain that there's no heat, you're going to be out the next day, and you're going to lose the benefits that you had that got you into this particular sober house. So it's something that's troubling enough for inspection services that they in the fire department to want to have put together this task force to try to address this. And one of the thoughts that came out of this was to start with a letter saying, upon information and belief based upon an inspection done on this day, we believe that you're running a lodging house. Here's an application, and see what happens. We do believe that good businesses will comply because they're not afraid of regular inspections. But there are going to be some that they will put up a fight, and then at the February meeting or March meeting, or however the License Commission wants to go, it may be appropriate for a request for the law department to take legal action to try to force compliance with being licensed. The licensing is the first step, because once if they voluntarily come in and license, then the fire department can immediately say, you need to put sprinklers in. And they're not going to say put sprinklers in within 24 hours. They will give them appropriate time. But the first step is to get the general consensus. Yes, we are operating a lodging house as it's defined, more than 6 people in a single dwelling. And then from there, issue appropriate orders and have appropriate inspections to make sure that they didn't call an exterminator one day and solve the problem and say 5 years when they come back, we'll deal with it again.
So what is the motion to put it on the February agenda?
Either February agenda for a presentation from Inspectional Services, or just have the License Commission send letters out saying we believe, and ISD, Fire Department believe you meet the definition of a lodging house.
Okay.
That's the process is you need to come see Laura Lee in the city clerk's office, fill out a lodging house application, and it would be on the February. But however, I know that I'm springing this on you. I was away at the end of last week, and I was actually going to send an email to the board just to give you a heads up. This came out of a meeting Wednesday of last week.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we put it on the February agenda.
I'll second this.
For presentation. Or do we send a letter to?
What send a letter? Send a letter.
ISD and the fire department have a list of right now, and they're putting it together, who they believe are lodging house operators that should have come here before and haven't. To be fair, they may not have even known that they need to.
Right, yeah.
But that letter that essentially says license board has been notified by ISD and the fire department who may be operating a lodging house. In such case, there is a requirement that you're licensed by the city.
Yeah. Send them, yeah.
And I will ask ISD to come here for the February meeting just to make a presentation of what some of the problems that they're seeing. They're in the apartments. If the board would like to see that.
Okay. Yeah.
And are we able to get something in writing from Special Services on their recommendations?
Oh, absolutely. I will talk to Inspectional Services as soon as we get out of this meeting. I'll have that circulated.
Yeah.
So, motion made. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Any old business? Calling the children for entertainment videos. You want to see the list?
Yep.
Any questions on anybody?
No?
Some of the names are new to me, but especially the last one, 730 Western Avenue. To change the name. Yes. Yeah. Any questions?
I don't.
Everything's been well?
Yep. Make a motion to approve the common victualler and entertainment renewals for the current list.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah. Any other business? Meeting?
Adjourned.
Okay.